Fortnite. I'm sure by now all of you guys have heard of this game and know it for the gameplay mechanics such as building and doing funny dances. However, this game is full of deep lore, and over the course of Chapter 4, a very prominent story has been happening in the background. Yes, you heard that right, a prominent story in the background. See, the way Fortnite has been telling their stories in the recent chapter is through quest lines that only show up for a few seconds that you would miss if you aren't paying attention. While it's part of the main story, only keen-eyed players and people heavy into the lore know about it, so I'm taking it upon myself to tell you the story just in time for Halloween. So without further ado, here's Fortnite's Monster Hunter story. Our story begins at the end of Chapter 3, Season 4, where we were introduced to Joni the Red, a member of the vampire hunting High Stakes Club. In her loading screen, we see her and two other members getting ready to kill a vampire who's emerging from a coffin in their home reality, letting us know that there is more going on here, and more story to come. At the end of Chapter 4, Season 1, we get introduced to Halsey, and a little bit later we get introduced to Lucy and West. Joni is a tactician of the group, and is described as being intense and willing to do anything to protect her friends. Halsey is a boba barista and the brute of the group, and is described as being sweet and bubbly, but more dangerous than she seems. And lastly, Lucian is a protector of the group, and is described as being a rebel and a dreamer. As a fun side note, all three characters are named after characters from Bram Stoker's Dracula novel, with Joni the Red being named after Jonathan Harker, Halsey after Van Helsing, and Lucian West after Lucy Westenra. As previously stated, these three characters are members of the High Stakes Club. It's a high school club whose main activity is hunting vampires and other monsters, and protecting those who can't protect themselves. All the members of the club are also mega fans of the international rock star Countess Daraku, known by the stage name Starfang. The whole idea behind the storyline seems kind of anime inspired if you haven't noticed already, but just roll with it. Now that we have the character descriptions out of the way, let's move into the story. As previously stated, Joni the Red was the first member to make her way to the island in Chapter 3, Season 4, with Halsey and Lucian West appearing in Chapter 4, Season 1. We aren't sure how they got to the island, but that isn't too important for the story, so let's just assume that a random rift event brought them. The Ageless Champion gives them safe haven in his kingdom on the island when they arrive. Joni's suspicious of him, but doesn't bring it up again. At some point in this season, Lucian leaves for a hunt of his own, but is gone for longer than expected, causing Joni and Halsey to worry. During this time, Joni goes off and slays Driftwalker snapshots at the location known as Falsey Splits, and then settles there for a while. Sometime later, Lucian returns, much to the relief of his club members, although they're curious as to what kept him for so long. Fast forward months later to Chapter 4, Season 4, Starfang somehow makes her way to the island and is putting on a concert. Joni, Halsey, and Lucian attend this concert and meet Starfang afterwards. She connects with her fans and makes them feel understood and appreciated. Out of excitement for meeting their idol, the High Stakes Club creates new outfits for the next concert they plan to attend, but that's when Starfang reveals her secret to the club. Her real name is Countess Daraku, and she's actually an ancient vampire who uses her popularity to prey on her fans, and the High Stakes Club members are her next victims. If you can't tell, she's named after Count Dracula. Daraku goes on to taunt and belittle her fans and make them doubt themselves, because this whole time they've been lied to about their idol's identity, and she's a vampire, and vampires are their sworn enemies. After deciding enough is enough from all the taunting and anger at the revelations, Joni goes off solo and comes across Victoria Saint. To give a little backstory, Victoria is a veteran of the island, being around for years since Chapter 2, Season 4. She's a vampire hunter from the Old West and a student of another character known as Shimmerdusk, who I'll talk about more in a bit. Victoria also has a sister named Vivica who got turned into a vampire at some point. Being a skilled vampire hunter, Victoria takes Joni under her wing as a protege to help kill Daraku. Some time passes after the training starts, and Shimmerdusk appears on the island in pursuit of another vampire on the island, known as Cato Thorn. Shimmerdusk is a type of fairy known as a fae. Shimmerdusk was hard on Victoria while teaching her, and gives her the same advice to the High Stakes Club, telling Halsey and Lucian that Joni will have to choose between them and the true hunt, and not to hold Joni back. She tells Joni that she'll learn a lot from Victoria, and will have to give up everything to become a true hunter. After more training has gone by, Victoria becomes unsure if a solitary hunt is the right method for Joni, and after seeing the toll Daraku has taken on her, Victoria follows up on a letter Halsey has sent, and takes some time away to find clarity. She comes to the realization that Joni needs friends to make her stronger, and takes up training Halsey and Lucian as well, helping the High Stakes Club reach their fullest potential. Doing some more preparations and creating a wooden stake shotgun, the High Stakes Club ally themselves with a player character otherwise known as the Looper, and make their way to Countess Daraku for the final showdown. Even though the High Stakes Club once loved Daraku, they know that they have to avenge all the fans she murdered and stop her once and for all. They challenge Daraku to a duel and kill her, bringing an end to this story. As for now, that's the end of their story as they figure out what comes next, but they know that whatever happens, they'll do it together as a family. So if you guys have stuck around for this far into the video, I just want to thank you for watching. I know this video has been a bit shorter than the previous one that I made, but I just hope to bring you guys more videos more often, even if the videos aren't as long, if the stories aren't as long. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I hope to bring you guys a wider variety of content with other games and then just different types of videos besides lore videos, maybe some gameplays in the future. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you'll come again soon.